A little princess is gonna be born, and her name is gonna be Penelope Rose. This is my niece via my husband. It's actually my husband's cousin who's having a little girl. This is something I've wanted to do. Being a mother of boys, I didn't really get the opportunity to do so. So now with this little girl coming into our family, I went with that theme and I went to our local Micheals. Normally I am Hobby Lobby all the way, but Micheals has some awesome deals too. And I just can't believe the haul. You know, the Lord was good and He gave me just what I needed, and I'm blown away. I'm actually gonna go through all the materials that I got and the discount that I got and what I actually ended up paying, being that there was a sale and there were coupons, etc., etc., etc. So I got this letter P for Penelope, and the plan is that I am going to fill it up with roses. So Penelope Rose. So I went to look at bunches of roses and they were all 40% off, and I thought it was fabulous. Stick to roses or similar colored flowers that somewhat look like roses, but hi Nico, where's your Legos? Federico, mira mama, go and play with your Legos please. No? Okay, then sit here. Go into mama's room. You want to go to mama's room? No? You want to stay here? Okay. I love you. But don't put that in mommy's eyes, okay? Okay, I'm going to go over the prices now so I won't forget later. This was originally, let me see here, $14.99, but it was on sale. And that's why I went with the wooden P for stability also, instead of making one out of... My plan was to make it out of cardboard, especially since we have so many boxes over there. But I saw this and I couldn't pass it up because it was on sale. A lot of the flowers got sold and I wasn't able to get the selection I wanted. I normally stay to one tones, either creams and whites, rose colors with purples. Let's ignore him. Or I stick to oranges and reds and stay within the family or within the season, because the warm colors are more for the fall and the summer seasons, and the cooler pastels are more spring and somewhat winter. I came across wreaths that were... So I came across wreaths that were 70% off. And look at this beauty. It has different variations and sizes, which is wonderful because it looks good aesthetically when you do bunches of flowers and bunches of even balloons, anything with design for you to have different sizes. And another thing I loved about these is that it has different types of florals that will look cute sticking out, and it'll make it more organic, more natural, and less precise and wound up and too perfect. And then I can use this wreath when I'm done taking out the flowers for this project, for my own door, for the fall season, even winter. To hang it up, I also got, I don't know if you can see this beautiful ribbon that was also on sale, but instead of $5, I got it for $3. And this is gonna add the perfect little touch for the hanging, and it's also gonna be functional. So now, let me show you what else you're gonna need. I like to work from the floor because it gives me a lot of space, and I don't have to worry about things falling. So first, we're gonna need a pair of scissors, glue gun, hot glue sticks, some hard paper. This is watercolor cardstock paper. Nothing too expensive, these are for kids. And last but not least, some floral foam. So to begin, you wanna get your wooden letter. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut several strips out of this watercolor cardstock paper to put around the border, the same width as the letter. It's better to cut them ahead of time so that way you won't be measuring, cutting, and you'll just get into a rhythm, almost as if it was an assembly line. Actually, to save myself some time and grief, what I did was I folded it in 3 parts, which is pretty close to where I wanted it to be. And then I'm just gonna cut these out, and I'm guessing that I only need 2 or 3 of these pages to cut for the strips. This project should only take maybe an hour, or at the most an hour and a half. This is the most tedious and annoying per se part of it. You just gotta measure twice and cut once. Gluing down the strips is the most time-consuming part. Something that I find that just fills people with fear and makes people want to quit before they even begin is that they want everything to be perfect. And the trick to all of this is imperfection. It comes with practice, and that's something I've had to learn. So this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to wrap these strips around the letter and glue them to the bottom. I'm gonna eye it. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you can use the shadow as a guideline. And you see this? I'm gonna glue it to the bottom and cover that up later when I'm done. I'm gonna place a good amount of glue all around. Do not be stingy. That's another tip. Do not be stingy with materials. The project will reflect that. Saving yourself a couple pennies could make a project look really bad in the end. So there, I glued it in the bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and glue here too to reinforce the walls. There you go. It's very important to overlap just a little bit to reinforce all the work. And I'm gonna wrap all of this around. I am not looking forward to that. That's gonna require a little bit of work. So one thing I did learn, that it's best to glue as I go. And reinforce the walls and the flaps. Don't worry about being perfect and not making a mess, because you're not gonna see it, and they are not going to be inspecting every little inch to see how well of a hot glue gun artist you are. And you see that little tip right there? I'm just gonna cut it. So once again, remember to overlap a little. Fold the corners like this. Wrap around. And then cut a little strip around the corner. And then fold. 2/4 of an inch. So then we glue. And go ahead and glue the upper wall too. Oh, and the little lip. Quickly. And then you can cut and even it out later, once the whole thing is done. And right here where these ribs appear, I would go where these creases and cut glue, 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 glue the lip or the inner wall, and then just press and turn. Place it on the ground. I'm not gonna have it fall apart on me in the end because I was being stingy with the glue. Oh, another glue stick. Reinforce the walls and the flap. Ooh, this is flying by.
Mama.
Measure it out.
Mama.
Yes, baby. Oh, the baby woke up. Okay, I gotta go and get the baby. I'm coming. I'm coming, baby boy. Thank you, Nico. I'm coming right now. Nico, no, don't break that. Don't break that. That's fluorofoam. That's really allergic and sticky and ouchy. I need to lower the walls of his crib soon because he just turned 1.5 years, but is already able to come out of the room and say hi to us when needed, and is very obedient about staying in bed and crib with a little reinforcement here and there. So I'm gonna take a little break here and I'll be right back. I'm actually thankful I got up because my legs were super numb. It's a good thing to stretch when you work on the floor. Okay, so now, the dreadful part. This inside curve. And I have just enough paper to do it. Let's begin with the big middle crease for stabilization and go ahead and glue the lip, the inner lip. Generous amount. We might have to rip it out later, but that's okay. We might not either. Okay. Flip, don't dry, don't dry. Oh no, it's drying. Don't dry on me. Here we go, yes. I'm gonna have to reapply some glue, but it worked. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna cut several little strips here because I didn't cut enough. I'll reapply some glue all around to the wood itself. Hot, hot. Oh, it isn't that bad. Yay! That wasn't that bad. Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna do what I just learned. Glue right onto the wood. That took what? 25 minutes? You could do this. I could skip it honestly, but I'm a perfectionist at times. And I'm just gonna even out the rim, not perfectly in height. I'm not gonna go around and measure everything out. Okay, you see, this is why I shouldn't have done it in the first place because already I'm seeing that I am causing more trouble than needed. Oh my goodness, I could keep on going and then end up losing all the work I did for perfection. You see what perfection does? Hi, baby boy. Yeah, Mama's making a letter P now. Look who I have here. Look who I have here. Okay, you woke up, huh, didn't you? You were playing with your brother? Hey, do you want to eat some popsicles? Some fruit popsicles. I think you want some because Mommy's working some glue here and we're almost done. The next step is going to be adding some of this foam. We're not gonna fill it up perfectly. It's just gonna save us a lot of work by not trying to be perfect. And don't touch this. This is dirty, sucio, yucky, yucky, yuck, yuck, yuck. I hate that material. This fluorofoam was so cheap from the dollar store and now I'm suffering and my kids are suffering and the vacuum cleaning and the mopping that's going to require to clean up after this. So don't go cheap. Don't go cheap with materials. Don't go cheap with anything. And try not to be a perfectionist. Those are my 2 tips for art. Okay, I don't have a lot of time, so let's do this before the boys come back for me. I try to work during their nap time. Okay, so glue this down. There you go. Right here to give it some support. I'm actually gonna glue the wall right onto it.
Add some more glue.
I'm almost done, boys, okay? Mama is making something. Look at these boys. You don't see their little feet. No. This is dirty. Dirty. Ew. Over there. Go over there.
What's that?
I am making something for a cousin of yours that you're gonna meet pretty soon, in just 3 more weeks. Oh, look how dirty this area is. No, 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 don't sit on mommy's legs. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay. The price I have to pay for trying to do art. Ah, maybe I shouldn't have had done the last piece. Look at this mess. I'm gonna go and clean up this disgusting mess. I'm gonna give these boys some popsicles and some cartoons so they can be a little bit distracted. Yes?
Linda.
No, 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 no. I'm coming, babies. Yes? Okay, so the technique I like to do is to cut the flowers by grabbing the stem, and you twirl the scissor around like so to break through the plastic, and then you just grab the metal, bend backwards and forward until they come right off. And that way it saves my shears from getting worn down, and it saves a lot of effort too. Let me grab another one, and oh, it comes right off. Okay. Okay, I think I might not even have to use my scissors. They're coming right off. By the way, these are not roses, and since her name is Penelope Rose, I'll be sticking to roses. I'm gonna save these for another project in the future, even for using to wrap a little gift. Actually, I can just put this on top of the ribbon for a gift. I like the idea. So I'm gonna put these in a Ziploc bag so they won't collect dust either. So these are gonna go over there. Let me see. There you go. I'm gonna put the greeneries over here. Okay, if they're giving me a lot of work, I'm just gonna move on so I can work more. Okay, they're coming right off. And go back to the stubborn ones later or now. One of the things that concerned me was that there wasn't great variety in sizes of the flowers. Like, this is the biggest difference there is. And also that they might be a little bit too big for this project, but sometimes bigger is better. So let's see. I'm not gonna worry, oh, you can't have 2 whites together. Actually, this looks gorgeous, okay? Forget about the rules, forget about perfection, and just have fun with it. I'm just gonna work down and not focus too much on the most central piece until I got a rhythm.
So here we go.
Here I am using this 2-toned one. Now I'm coming here to the central piece, and I'm gonna stick this one right here. It's even a little bit higher. Another thing I wanted to point out is that you want to try to keep true to the letter. Try not to make it look like a big blob. Try to keep the form of the letter as I go. From the bottom down, so try to face the flowers towards your viewers without driving yourself crazy.
And I'm pretty happy where it's gonna go.
I want to open this up a little bit so you can actually see the pea. I might even have to glue some little petals onto its own flower so it won't open up later on.
And glue.
So you can see the center. I'm just going to twirl this around and see where I'm missing some big holes. Those little holes are going to be filled with the greenery. Like right here, this big old hole right here, it's going to have a pretty little flower. And maybe even stick it up a little bit higher so it will be different than the other one that it's pretty similar to. Like I said, this is not the time to be stingy with materials. Use it all. Not everything is flat. It has a little bit more of a depth, and I'm pretty happy with it. So at this point, I'm just gonna move around and see which ones I'm gonna glue down. And I'm gonna glue some of the major one that might receive a little bit more stress. And now, here's the part I've been looking forward to, adding little details. Distraction, but I just wanted to make it little details. Place it in there. I'm gonna place them and then go back and see if I like it where they are. And then either remove them all together, keep a few of them, or keep them and hide them a little bit better. But these I will glue in. I'm gonna use these also to break up the flowers that resemble each other a little bit too much for my taste. Now I don't want this to look like a peacock either. So every once in a while, I'm just gonna pick it up, take a good look at it, see if I like it, and if not, remove it. One more thing, layer the greenery. Instead of spreading all out evenly, place them on top of each other, and that way it will look more real and more organic and less intentional and perfect. Try to let the leaves fall naturally and give it a rhythm. You don't want it crisscrossing all over the place. I'm debating whether or not I'm actually gonna keep all the greens. I'm focusing on the shape of the letter and not distracting. It's kind of taking over too much for my taste. I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna look at it, and then if I do decide to keep it, I'm gonna glue it down. I did some research on Pinterest and on Instagram, and that helped me focus and regroup on how I was gonna go with this project. And the leaves were very much overwhelming and were actually disfiguring. So I ended up scaling back drastically the leaves, and now aesthetically it does much better and it looks like a pea. I am going to gently place it upside down, and let's clean up the back. You can skip this process. You don't necessarily have to clean up the back, and some people actually would like to even go a step further and paint or put more ribbon all around. I like the contrast of the white, so I'm just gonna use some extra sheet of papers, trace and cut to place over the work I'm gonna do now. Quiet, please. So I'm placing the ribbon upside down as this, and I can either staple down onto the wood, hammer it with little nails either. I can glue it down. I have some white duct tape, my favorite. I gotta buy another roll. I love this thing. And I think I'm gonna have to glue it down, then duct tape it down also for extra security. So this is the ribbon. So I'm gonna place this down. I already burned myself and got a huge bubble, which never happens. But this is what happens when you're trying to work too fast and keep on getting interrupted. Here's the white duct tape.
Add some more.
That covers it up perfectly. I'll put another strip down here. Especially where that ribbon is. So here I am, more than an hour later, thanks to my little angels over there needing a lot of attention. I try to work during nap time, but that doesn't always go as I plan. Here's the ribbon that's gonna use to hang it. It's this beautiful, sparkly ribbon. Oh my goodness. The camera and the lighting does not do it justice, but it will hang like so. And if I turn around, this is the back. I covered it in the same paper. There you go. If you're not distracted like me, it should take you less than an hour, I think. It's not perfect, but it's the best I could do in the little amount of time I had, and I'm very, very happy with it. I think this is quite fitting for a little Penelope Rose. Penelope P. Rose. Get it? P. Rose? Yeah. I get myself all the time. I'm actually going to roll this back up and give her the entire roll, and that way she can hang it and make a big bow, whatever size she wants. Now let's talk about price. In total, it would have cost me $79.99, but due to the amazing discount that I got, it turned out to be $26. So imagine, almost $80 for that, but I ended up getting it way under $30. And what I did also, hold on, I'll come and help you in a minute, is that I taped the ribbon up against it with easily removable packaging tape that won't break the paper, and just gift it to her like that ahead of the birth, so she can take it with her to the hospital if she wants, or she can just hang it onto the room door or even over the crib. It almost took me 2 hours to make this, but that's because I kept stopping for these kids. But it should take you just an hour if you relax and not try to make it perfect. I'm sure some of you might see some things I could have done differently, but again, everyone has different tastes, and this is something I didn't have a lot of time to do. Another thing I forgot to mention about this is the amount of cleanup that I have to do now. Not just the cleanup for the work, and especially the foam and the little pieces of the wreath, but all the mess the kids did while they were occupying themselves. The cleanup afterwards, it's gonna be crazy. But it's all worth it. Depends how much you want it, right? Yes? Yes? Yes. He just wants his mom. Show them your hands. What's in your hands? This guy got into my makeup while I was busy. He took advantage and he got into my makeup. You got into mommy's makeup when mommy was busy, right? Yeah. Right? And what happened? You made a mess? Frederick made a mess. Frederick. Outside. Is that what happened? What else? He just turned 1.5 a few days ago. Not even 5 days ago. You got a ball? He had a ball on him the entire time. Yeah. Right down. Let me go and help your brother now. Trying to get the energy. Clean up the mess from the crafting today. And then the mess that these kids made.